Hello and welcome to the first video in a series that I'd like to call This Old Thing. This is essentially going to be a review series for games that are older and maybe not as well known, that have flown under a lot of people's radar, but that are still good and have something to offer the gaming community in spite of that. If you like this video, please press like. If you have a game that you want me to review, please comment on the video and let me know, and I'll try to get around to it. Alright, on to the video. Sam & Max Hit the Road, a 1993 point-and-click adventure game by LucasArts. While you might not hear it mentioned too often, this game stood beside other games by LucasArts like Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island, point-and-click adventure games that really define the genre. But Sam & Max, for some reason, seems to be a franchise that gets a little lost in the sauce. First of all, what is it? Well, since you asked, the duo started out as a comic written by Steve Purcell, but that quickly changed once Purcell started working for LucasArts. Sam & Max soon had its own video game, Sam & Max Hit the Road, the subject of today's discussion, as well as its own TV show, and then eventually a series of other games done by a completely different company for lots of reasons. Okay, but seriously, what is it? Our main characters are a cartoon dog and his friend, a fluffy cartoon rabbit. They go around as freelance police officers solving all sorts of weird and wacky cases, which sounds very G-rated on the surface, but actually it's a lot weirder than that.
I'm inside you, Sam. Everything that makes me a unique individual, except for my bones, guts, and so on, is now stored within you. Creepy, huh?
I mean, the series doesn't really have any sort of a target audience that anyone could name. There are childlike features to it in the fact that there is a cartoon dog and a cartoon rabbit, and then there are more adult elements.
I'm trying to concentrate.
Hi, I'm George Washington. Anyone need their nuts cracked?
That being said, in spite of the great humor that the show has had, the audience has been pretty niche.
Hit me again. I like it.
The rights to Sam & Max are now in the hands of a video game company called Telltale Studios, which separated from LucasArts after the failed release of Sam & Max Freelance Police. That being said, it was probably for the better, considering what happened to LucasArts.
Wilson, we've got to get out of here. We've got chaos at our front doorstep. We're not built to deal with this, man.
Go, evacuate everyone. I can take care of this.
Goodbye.
But now let's ignore all that. Let's pretend that LucasArts is still alive, and let's go back to the original Sam & Max game, Sam & Max Hit the Road. It might seem kinda dumb to review a game that came out in 1993, but I'm kinda dumb, so let's go. Warning, there are some pretty major spoilers up ahead, so if you just want the overview, go ahead and skip to the time here. First, let's talk about the game's story and humor. The game blew me away in the opening cutscenes and the initial moments of the game. I mean, just look at the first 30 seconds when you open it up.
Friends? Friends? We've only gone out together 3 times, and already you're telling me you just want to be friends? You never gave me a chance, and for that, you'll fry like a pork sausage.
It's not that I don't like you, it's just that, well, you're too nice a guy, I guess. I think I'd rather go out with someone more bit unpredictable.
Hello.
The humor and carnage don't stop there. The game continued to have a unique and twisted charm throughout. The banter between the two characters is hilarious,
I hope there was nobody on that bus.
and the plot is absolutely ridiculous. A dog and a rabbit go to retrieve a Bigfoot that's escaped from a circus while having to deal with a country western singer who, by the way, was born in Liverpool, who also wants the Bigfoot for his messed up menagerie. It ends with the western United States being overgrown with trees. It includes a full musical number.
I remember my childhood in Brighton, when dear old Dad would bounce me on his knee.
Somewhere along the way, you deal with aliens, mediums, unreasonably large balls of twine, and alligators who are for some reason attracted to golf balls. In spite of the plot being so all over the place, you can follow it somewhat. And as ridiculous as it may seem, if you watched my Let's Play at all, you know that I found myself really hating that villain.
Oh, it's tough to be a country western star.
Let's kill him. There's nothing to actually glean from the story, though. There's no message, no moral, no big overriding theme. It's just fun. It's stupid, violent, hilarious fun. So what about the actual gameplay? Well, this is a 90s point-and-click game. The gameplay was, at times, pretty infuriating. For example, would you have guessed that you could pick this item up? Or would you have fathomed that going here was integral to your progress, or was even possible? Take a look at the first office. Would you have guessed that there was another space to the right? Alright, so you need to retrieve a mood ring from the world's largest ball of twine. Hypothetically, of course. Clearly, the answer is taking a broken golf ball retriever, attaching Jesse James' severed hand to it, making it hold a refrigerator magnet, and using that contraption on the ball of twine. Now, imagine doing this during an era when online walkthroughs weren't really a thing. I mean, it's not like I'm complaining, don't get me wrong, this game is old. It didn't have the advantage of drawing from the gazillion games that were made before it to make it flow smoothly for the player. Nevertheless, if you're gonna play this one, I'd definitely take advantage of a modern convenience and pull up a walkthrough. Moving on to the stuff that's actually important, this game looks absolutely fantastic. I know that that might sound weird for some people to hear, I mean, after all, it's a pixel art game from the 90s. But I really mean it, the pixel art holds up. It looks great, and it's innovative with the technology that it has. There's a reason why people still make pixel art games. They're cool and beautiful, and they can be easily stylized. I mean, the pixel art in this game is still good pixel art by today's standards. Compare that to a PS1 game, or really any first-gen 3D graphics game. They aged like milk. This aged like wine. I love just looking at this game and being wowed by some of the animations it had. I was genuinely impressed, and I would have been genuinely impressed even if this wasn't made in '93. So what's the verdict? Well, Sam & Max gets so often overlooked. It's a bit of a niche game, especially this game considering that it's pretty old school. Nevertheless, if you got a couple bucks laying around that you want to spend on a game that's gonna make you laugh, I suggest it. It's definitely worth a playthrough if you're into stuff like this, and if you happen to be looking for a cool new fandom to join, try this one. It's far from being dead, actually. There are quite a few games in this that were made pretty recently, and in fact there's a new game coming out this month. Sam & Max is definitely worth a look over. Try it out for yourself. It's not that much on Steam, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the first video in the series of This Old Thing. Hope you guys liked it, and again, if you have any suggestions for videos that you'd like to see in the future, tell me in the comments down below. Thanks again, bye.